Dude, so what do they have in common, by the way?
They're all brown,
Dude, all right, okay, I got you. What else?
I believe. They're all Asian.
Yeah. What else?
They all have brown, blackish hair, straight,
All right.
wavy.
All right. Come on, man. Where are they from?
Where are they from?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like exactly.
No. Like, what's their names tell you about them?
I think somewhere is South Asia.
Yeah. Okay, the Indian subcontinent. They're all Indian. Wait, did you know that, or was it?
Did I know that they were Indian?
Yeah,
exactly.
by their names.
I had a feeling, but I didn't want to say Indian just in case I was wrong.
Dude, why not?
Okay, so say Indian.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Wait, why didn't you want to say Indian?
Because there's other, like, what is it, South Asian countries that they could have possibly been from, I believe, but
Yeah, right.
I didn't want to say India exactly.
Okay. All right, that's fair. But India would be, so you didn't want to be offensive, or you didn't want to?
I didn't want to, I guess, stereotype, question mark?
Oh, no, you forget. You were here last class, right?
I was here last class.
The job is to stereotype, okay? To generalize. I make generalizations all the time. And guess what? I'm really good at it, right? I can look at so many people, your clothes, the way you stand, the way you walk, I'm really good. I travel all over the world. I talk to people endlessly. I'm really good at it. The problem is when you take those generalizations and you make negative assessments or positive assessments about people, then that's a problem, man. But making assessments is sociology. We can't be a good sociologist if you're not generalizing. They could be from Sri Lanka, could be from Bangladesh, could be, but like given that India is like 1.4 billion people, go with India.
Okay, go with India. All right.
All right. When I was out here earlier, and we did where they introduced themselves, I referred to one of them as white because the one of them, their parents think that they are, and I'm going to just use they, okay? They're just really white. They've been whitened by culture. Who do you think it is? Look at, so first off, what are you going to look at? What are you going to look at to answer that question?
I guess clothing,
Okay.
And I guess overall demeanor. I'm not gonna say it's her.
Why not?
She's very, I don't know, like.
Just has different demeanor?
She has a different demeanor than the rest of them. I mean,
Okay.
I want to say I think it's him.
The guy in the green?
The guy in the green.
Dude, bro, you look like my brother when he was younger. So like that would be a good guess, but it's not him.
It's
but
not
nonetheless, which two of these people are actually international students from India?
I think her and what's her name? Joshika, and then is it
Bhavik.
Bhavik. I think it's those two.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. It is her.
Okay.
About Josika and Arth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. These two guys are Indian. I mean, you mostly grew up outside of India. But you're an international student too, right? And you're an international student? But they grew up outside of India. Yeah. This guy, by contrast, bro, what's you writing your thing about your parents? I love it. You grew up, where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Harrisburg, PA.
Yeah. How much do you know about India?
I would say I know a lot because my parents were both born in India, and I talk to my grandparents often, so I'd say I'm still up to date on the culture and what goes on, and I'm still involved in it.
Mm-hmm. But when I make the joke about you being white and stuff, are you cool with that?
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
I mean, you wrote it in your thing, so I'm assuming you can have fun with it. But do you also feel, so here, you ready? Here's your question for him. So he grew up in Harrisburg. So it's like very much grew up as part of white culture. Okay. What questions do you have for him?
Do you feel more connected with white culture than you do Indian culture, or is it like equal? Or
I would say when I was very young, I was more connected with my Indian culture. But as I got older and I had more friends, and I started playing sports and got involved, I connected more with the white culture.
so, do you find that more of your friends are white?
Yeah.
Have you been to India?
I have, I think, 3 or 4 times.
Do you like it there?
Some parts I'd say yes, some parts not so much.
Do you think you'd like it better if you grew up there?
Well, living the life that I have now, I would say no. I like it better here.
What parts of India would you imagine that an Indian American would struggle with?
Probably like North India, like Delhi specifically, because of the pollution.
Uh-huh.
It's really, the AQI over there is like in the thousands or something, I think.
Yeah, going off that, maybe just the environment sometimes, for especially foreigners, the streets can be kind of unwelcoming, but that completely depends on where you go.
So Sid here, you grew up really connected to Indian culture. So really, I'm just having fun with the white thing. No, you're very Indian. I mean, in terms of your connection to the culture.
Yes.
Right. But over time, like you said, you've sort of, you just got, you get, man, when you grow up in a different culture, right, you just get connected to the culture that you're in. That's just what it is, which we're going to have a conversation with you two guys about that. So it's just natural. What part about India do you wish that you were really more connected with, or do you? Maybe you don't. Maybe you're just like, whatever.
Something I wish I was more connected to, I'd say definitely like cultural holidays. Since when I was back at home before college, I would say I was still connected to that, but now away from college, I have no connection to that almost completely. And living in the U.S., you miss out on a lot of Indian holidays and celebrating them. Yeah,
there's so many, right? Like, you just really don't get to connect with those. How much do Indians judge? Like, who is and isn't Indian? When you come here as international students and you meet Indian Americans who are like, I've never been to India, but whatever, but I'm Indian, how much do you all, as international students, go like, come on, man?
I usually don't mind it, especially if they've not visited India. I do have a problem if they talk about it, especially demean it, if they've never been to India, purely based off social media or anything like that. That's when I draw the line. But otherwise, it doesn't matter. If you've never been there and you identify as an Indian,
it doesn't. Are you still Indian?
Yeah, they're still Indian. Yeah.
Indian or Indian American or Indian and
whatever they want to identify.
So you don't think about it?
Yeah, I don't think about it.
Well, I think it's pretty easy to tell who's been brought up in India versus who's been brought up in the US or outside. And I don't think it's a problem. People can identify as whatever they want, and I don't really judge. But I do have a problem with when people judge India, demean it, especially because of all the things you see on social media. I see that too. But I feel it's not fair to judge people if you haven't visited the country.
So it's really about, wait, what do you see on social media, by the way? Do you know what he's talking about?
I do know what he's talking about.
What's he talking about?
There's a lot of bad stereotypes regarding India as a place and in general, and Indians in general. I've heard my whole life that India was inherently a dirty place, the air is bad and the streets are bad and there's trash everywhere and stuff like that. That's what I've heard growing up and on social media.
Well, again, I want to emphasize, you're very much part of, you grew up in Indian culture. Your parents are from India. When your parents are from India, man, you're in it. You don't get away from it. You're gonna have the food, the rituals, the et cetera, right? Do they go to temple regularly?
Yeah, we do. Every Sunday, every 2 or 3 weeks we go.
And you go also?
Yeah, I go.
Are they burning incense all the time in the house? And
not anymore, but we have a temple downstairs that we pray in front of every morning.
Do you, when you're here, around international students who are from India, do you tend to downplay the fact that you're Indian American, or do you lead with that?
Well, personally, if I want to make a connection with them, I'd lead with that I'm Indian, and I can connect to them because I can tell when someone's an international student, they're from India.
Uh-huh.
But if I can tell that they're not from India, then I'll just lead with how I normally am.
Uh-huh. Okay. So it's like cool. It's cool to have the connection.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Now I would think that, really. But a lot of people, though, a lot of students here, when they meet international students, like Chinese American students who don't really connect with China at all, and they meet Chinese students, they feel like a wall, man. Like they feel shy about meeting and talking, and yeah, and they feel like I don't want to say that I'm Chinese American because people will judge me for not speaking Mandarin or stuff like that. How are you different than your parents?
I guess, well, I'm different just like who I talk to, what I enjoy, who I hang out with, my preferences, completely different than my parents, I would say.
Meaning preferences for just stuff that you're into?
Yeah.
Like television shows?
Yeah.
Do they watch Bollywood? And
They do.
yeah. And do you like Bollywood stuff?
When I was a kid, I would watch Bollywood movies, but now I don't watch them anymore.
Do you have any Indian American friends who like Bollywood?
I would say, yeah.
Yeah. It's not common though, right? I mean, I like Bollywood, but we tend to adopt the cultures in which where we're raised, right? That's just the nature of it. Between you and your parents, have your parents adopted the friendliness here, or?
I would say, yeah. My dad's been here since the 1990s. My mom moved here in 2000, so they've adopted most of.
They've gotten used to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. That's really interesting, right?